Okay, everybody. So, welcome back. Once again, this is Ian from A Tiny Product Lab and Mindful Marketplace. It is the 9th of February, 2026. And as promised, I'm going to reshare this Notion workbook that I created back in I don't know, I guess the spring of 2025 for making your Amazon books perma free or forever free. It's a great lead generation strategy. It's ideal, especially for folks who are writing on like Substack or Beehive or newspaper, newsletter publishers. Actually, it turns out newspaper publishing ain't such a hot business idea anymore as the recent news tells us. But if you're writing like a newsletter on Substack in particular, like this is part of the audience that I'm sending this out to or I'm thinking of right now as I'm recording this. It's a fantastic way of leveraging the huge amount of eyeballs that Amazon, occupies, or the attention that Amazon occupies relative to your own blog or your own Substack or your own newsletter on whatever platform you're using. Amazon has tons and tons and tons of readers, obviously, and the free book section. And again, I'm not talking about doing a KDP promotion. I'm talking about actually having your book be forever free, so there's no cost at all to folks who want to download it. Is a fantastic way of generating tons of downloads, especially if you have like a series or a serialized sort of stories or books like that. It's a great way giving away the first book free. You're going to no doubt acquire a lot more of an audience that way than you would just starting from scratch and charging for each book. So I did this in again, it was I guess in the spring of last year for one of the first books in a series of books that I had written about mindfulness. You can see, actually, I'm going to link out here. This is one of, this was part of a series called Enlighten Up, right? It's a 5-book series. You can see the books there. I'm not here to promote those now. But what I eventually did was I took that first book that was free, that was part of this process, and I converted it into, I actually continued to edit that book and made it part of this series here. So the original book that was part of that process is no longer available. It was called A Tiny Book About Big Love. And now there's another version of that's part of this paid series. So that's the only caveat that I would offer here as part of this recording is that the book that's part of this Notion workbook is no longer available. So if you're downloading this workbook as well, you'll see the books are here. But the same process works wonderfully well, and I'm about to publish a new book in the next 2 weeks that's going to be free for a new series on entrepreneurial ism or people who are wanting to write a book. So there's going to be a free book in that series. And rather than wait until that's ready, I just figured I would, share this again for those of you who are excited about, self-publishing in 2026. It's now February, obviously. So I know a lot of people are still putting stuff off. Or haven't yet started writing that book that's going to change their lives or change the world. And as the months pass, obviously, it gets more and more behind us. So I figured I would do this today rather than wait for another example book to show you. All right, giant cough, and let's get started. All right, so step number one. This is all like this is exactly step by step, exactly what to do. Right, this is what I did. This is it works. It's not gimmicky. There's no gurus required. You don't need to like buy a mini course. It's very simple. And again, one quick additional caveat: the reason presentations like this are important is because Amazon tells you that they don't allow you to sell your book for free. So Amazon officially, and I'm putting this in quotes, says, we don't allow zero, books that you can sell that you can give away, more or less. Like, you can't use our platform for lead magnets or for that sort of content. But it turns out, like many things we're told these days by those in authority positions, that's bullshit. It's not true. You can give your book away for free as a lead magnet. And actually, the evidence is obvious on offer. If you look on Amazon's website, there's actually, a whole section in each category that's for free books, right? So they're actually telling you something that is patently untrue by dint of, what is obviously on offer there within their catalog, with your own eyes, right? So, but you still have to follow this process to get your book listed in that section for free. All right, step number one, you want to sign up for draft2digital.com. It's free, right? There may be other platforms that do this as well. And I think there are. I just don't know which ones. This is not my focus every day. So this one works wonderfully well. I used this years and years and years ago when I first started writing tiny books, and it worked then, and it still works as well in 2025. Step number two, you're going to upload your EPUB from your machine, and you're going to upload it to the Draft2Digital platform. All right, there's a whole bunch of kind of, this is the pain in the ass part. There's a whole bunch of platforms that you have to like pick that you're submitting to here. So you just agree to the distribution prompts that you want your book distributed to, right? It's going to tell you all the places and spaces that your book will be distributed, and you're just basically doing data entry at this point, like clicking yes or check boxes, etc. All right, step number four is you're going to agree to their terms of service and that you are the author, etc., and you're going to publish the book on Draft2Digital. All right, and again, you're doing this for free, right? You're publishing this as a zero priced book. You're going to wait a few hours, and you're going to start getting updates letting you know that your book has been published for free at the various book marketplaces around the world and the web. Now you want to go back, step number 6, and check the links. Make sure that your book is actually live, right? And this is a key piece of this process. You want to make sure that your book is live and showing a zero price point on a bigger name platform like Barnes & Noble, for an example, because the Amazon, what we're eventually going to do here is use Amazon's price match guarantee, where they promise their customers, which in this case is not you, like you're the publisher, you're the author, but that they will match the lowest price that's available anywhere, right? So what you want to do is have a zero price show up on Barnes & Noble or Apple iTunes, etc., so that they at least have an analog, a competitive analog that they can say is credible, right? So if you just have this very sort of low brow kind of publisher or platform that's got your book for free, Amazon may not care so much about that, and they may not price match, right? So in my case, and I actually forgot this until I'm looking at this now, the Amazon KDP rep, who I emailed that my book was free, on these other platforms, and I wanted them to match it, asked me for a live link to Apple and iTunes, right? So they actually wanted to see a link of this book live on Apple iTunes before they would agree to my request, which was to publish my book for free. All right, step number 8, get your book ASKIN from Amazon. It's like the product SKU for your book. Now you're going to go into your Amazon account, right? And then you're going to do all this within your own Amazon account. You're going to go to help, click on the help tab. It's located at the top of your screen. Scroll all the way down to contact us. Select pricing, step 11. This is where you're going to add a live link to the book marketplace where your book is available for free. And as we noted above, you want to make sure it's on a more prominent platform rather than an obscure one for Amazon to take the request seriously, right? So Apple, Barnes & Noble, Google, etc., are preferable here. If it's just some, mealy mouth sort of little kind of publishing platform that has a free copy of your book, they're going to be less likely to agree to price match the book on Amazon for zero, for free, which negates this whole process that you're doing. So wait until it's available at one of these, right? If you want them to actually price match you in the first pass, but don't feel stressed if it doesn't happen on the first pass, because you can simply wait until it's available on one of these bigger platforms for free, and they will actually accept your request. All right, step number 12, you want to use the email template that they provide. Again, this is all, you'll see all this within your own Amazon backend, but you'll see a pre-made form for sharing a link to your free book so that Amazon can price match it. And you want to simply paste in a link to your book, specify which Amazon marketplace you're interested in. The .com one is an umbrella for all the others, and just so pick that and enter 0 as the price point that you want Amazon to match. Step number 13, paste in your info and send, right? And now we wait. And if you're like me, you may want to watch some old Dexter reruns or do 9 push-ups and take a nap. All right, that was obviously a joke. But step number 14, ask yourself a few, questions like, why do you want your book to be forever free, right? I mean, like, what is the big picture strategy that you're aiming, or what is your ultimate objective that is, behind the impetus for wanting to use their free price match book, process to publish, right? I mean, for me, it was quite simple. I wanted more attention, more exposure, and I wanted a lower barrier of cost entry for people to download the book, which was very, very effective, right? I mean, it just gives people the ability to download a free book without paying for anything. They don't need to think about it. A lot of these free, kind of like, there's tons of these communities. I'm not part of them, but so I can't think of their names offhand. But they're like, people who are like, they collect, like free books, right? So they'll tell, like they'll list all the free books each week that are available. Some of the folks will read the book and then tell their community, like, hey, these are 7 free books, that are available this week. I mean, there are like, entire like sort of micro niches, or maybe they're macro niches at this point, around people who just collect free shit, right? And like a free book on Amazon is a great way of building buzz for your books. If you're serializing your other books, your brand, your business, your author brand, your service that you offer in the world, etc. It's like, especially folks in my immediate orbit who are into, either business or mindfulness or mental health or like selling those sorts of services. It's a great way of just having a, friction-free, like asset out there in the world that people can get their hands on and learn more about you and your work in the world. All right. And again, what is the end experience that you're going to offer people who, click through at the end of the book? This is more of a marketing strategy for the free book. Like, what exactly is it that you're doing in the world that a free book will, it will serve in the, ultimate sort of end objective for your business? I mean, do you do coaching, consulting? Do you sell products? Do you have live events? Do you have some sort of really meaningful mission in the world? Are you building a community? Getting very clear about this, which is, I call it the end experience. It's really the thing that separates a so-so free book from one that actually really builds your brand and your business. If people are clicking on a link at the end of the book and signing up for your email list or your coaching, a free, consultation with you, etc., attending an event, all those things can be a fantastic opportunity to position a free book, which again, you're making no money on the front end of that, but the back end can be really a huge home run if you do this properly. All right. And there are other little things here that I'm not really going to go through because this is already 15 minutes long. But essentially, that's pretty much it. In my case, one of the things that I kind of begrudgingly want to work on in 2026 is building out our mindfulness Substack called Enlighten Up, which features largely my own writing and a couple other folks in our immediate community who've had some guest posts, etc. So this is like one of the things that I'm, working on, and I'm promoting through some of these books that we have coming out in the next couple of weeks. And also a tinybookabout.com, which is our publishing platform, which you can see, on the web as well. Teach what you know, do what you love, wake up the world with your work. As always, I hope this is helpful. If you have questions, feel free to ask. Thanks.